to Begin, brought to you by Booher Remodeling, Booher, BooherRemodeling.com. Honestly, I can't find this bug. I think Booher's going to have to redo this whole dang studio. I think that's might want to send over the boys right there. The boys from the lab to get this done. Your kitchen, your bathroom, taking your basement and turning it into something spectacular. That's what Booher does. If it's inside your four walls, Booher Remodeling can make it work for you today. And that's usually the case with your kitchen. It's just older. It was an old style. It was an old layout. Your life has changed, and you need to change with it. Booher understands this, and their 5-step design process from start to finish, from the consultation to the final bit of construction, make sure you know exactly what's going on every step of the way so there are no surprises. Takes away all of the stress. And what you're left with is a kitchen you've always wanted, a kitchen that works for you and your family. Same thing is true with that master bathroom, right? You want to change the height of the countertops there. You want to change the layout of the shower. They take care of that for you in a way that not only do you know what's going on, but you're getting everything you've always wanted. The value is in understanding what's going to happen and how you now get to live. Never mind when you sell your home. Booher Remodeling. Talk to them today. 317-852-5546. Tell them Tony Katz sent you. 317-852-5546. Booher Remodeling. 852-5546 or online at Booher. Booher. BooherRemodeling.com. The popcorn moment. Let's go. This bug is out here somewhere. It's the story you need to hear to believe. Then grab your popcorn because there is more. I think I'm on 2 for today. For the popcorn moment because Marco Rubio was on the Hill, the Secretary of State, and Democrats were very unhappy with Marco Rubio and the deportations and dealing with other nations. And how disappointed I am to have voted for you. That was Chris Van Hollen. Senator Van Hollen from Maryland. I can't believe I voted for you. Can't believe you're engaged in these deportations. And Marco Rubio's like, well, I guess that means I'm doing a good job if you're not happy. And I mean, it went on from there.
United States and study. And if you tell me that you're coming to the United States to lead campus crusades, to take over libraries and try to burn down buildings and acts of violence, we're not going to give you a visa.
Is that what Ms. Ostork did?
We're not going to give you a visa.
Is that what she did? Come on, Mr. Secretary.
And every single one of these cases, the factors are different.
Senator,
the bottom line is, if you're coming here to stir up trouble on our campuses, we will deny you a visa. And if you have a visa,
First Amendment apply to
we'll revoke
living in the United States?
And we're going to do more. There are more coming. We're going to continue to revoke the visas of people who are here as guests and are disrupting our higher education facilities. People are paying money. These kids pay money to go to school, and they have to walk through a bunch of lunatics
to the
who are here on student
newspapers
visas.
disrupting the foreign policy of the United States.
I want to do more. I hope we can find more of these people.
That's pathetic, Mr.
In fact,
Secretary.
the other day, some guys led a riot. I forgot what university it was, and I asked, please, can you find the arrest records of all the people that were arrested at that riot at that campus? Because if any of them have a visa, we're going to revoke it.
I feel so much safer when you lock up people like Ms. Ostork, Ms. Secretary.
We've had enough time on the subject. Thank you.
A very odd response from the Democratic senator from Maryland. Because once again, you're not on the side of some proper application of law. You're on the side of being in the country as a guest, never mind illegally, in other cases. And somehow the American citizen has to suffer because of it. Because of a guest. That is an odd position to take, and it runs counter to where Americans are. You come here, you live by our rules. We have to somehow cater to your rules? This is the argument that Senator Chris Van Hollen, Democrat, is making. It's a very odd argument. But I think he's more than entitled to do so. Let his party lose again and again and again, and let the people in Maryland be quite honestly ridiculous enough to vote for that. Can't you believe in let's say abortion and somehow think that the rules of the nation should be followed by people who are guests here? That you can't come to this country on a student visa and be disruptive? You can't do. You know what? Lose elections. It's better if you lose elections, Chris Van Hollen. Then there's Dan Goldman, Democrat from New York, the lawyer, a former impeachment manager. Every time he makes a video, he looks like he's doing a hostage video. And he's talking about Representative McIver, who has now been charged with going after ICE agents, engaging violence with ICE agents. She had to see what was happening in this detention facility. She had to break in, and you can't stop her. And she's pushing, she's shoving, hitting, doing all the things. She engaged in violence that you would be arrested for. How does Dan Goldman see it?
Able to come back from this complete corruption.
I don't think people should gloss over what you just said. You said this is worse than Watergate, and you don't think we'll be able to come back if folks don't step up and step in. I share those sentiments, but for folks out there that might say, oh, here they go, being hyperbolic, what do you say to those folks?
Well, President Nixon never signed an executive order directing the Department of Justice to investigate political dissenters, people who worked in his administration and then turned on him. Donald Trump has done that. President Nixon abided by the Supreme Court's decision when they said that he had to turn over the tapes. Donald Trump is not following the Supreme Court's decision on due process. And now we're seeing egregious politicization of the Department of Justice to avoid traditional requirements to keep it apolitical, to keep it from being politicized, and charging a member of Congress with what we all see on TV, if it was a kerfuffle, would never be charged in a million years under any other Department of Justice.
Is that what we're calling it now? You're pushing ICE agents and it's a kerfuffle. Because funny, that's how many people saw January 6th. Except for Ashley Babbitt's family, where a Capitol Police officer killed her. Kerfuffle. Now all of a sudden things are being politicized. But be clear, this is MSNBC. I only share it for just explaining and showing the madness. This is what they teach their followers. No wonder they're all so ginned up to violence and going after ICE agents. Charge her, arrest her, perp walker, innocent until proven guilty. Let's go to work. Matt Bear has traffic. What's up, Matthew?
All right, on East Washington, Tony, we have a report